Hello there, my spooky darlings. So, I kind of felt like I should just do at least one more for you guys on today. This will be the second one that I'm going to upload for you guys. I had a dawning on me when I was looking through some of my other videos that there was a story that I forgot to touch on that occurred, and I kind of think that it might be a little bit of an importance just because, how do I put this? It's a little bit of a terrifying thing, and I wanted you guys to actually know about it. It it only is terrifying for me because it took me a while to understand this. So a while back, when I first got here, I had where I usually like to leave a piece of paper and a pen in a room that I know that's not going to be disturbed or touched or even walked into if I can help it. And for a while, we had an office that we were using before now that I was completely empty and there was nothing inside of it. And when we first got here, I left, like I said, a paper and pen in there with the words, "Who are you?" on it. So the previous owners, their last name is the only thing I'm going to say because that's out of respect. But it is very strange last name. It was a country's last name, funny enough. Ireland. That's all I'm going to give because that's somebody's personal name and their info. But there was a person priorly living here with that last name. And when I asked that, the strangest thing is there was a squiggle, which I was impressed with because usually squiggles even take a lot to get on a paper. Anything being put on the paper is kind of cool to me because it's literally a paper that's left by itself with nobody around. There's nobody that can make these marks. They're created by something, you know? So I was just impressed with that. Didn't dawn on me until later that I realized that there was a little trinket. Now, if you guys know about any kind of sports teams, there is a team called the Irish. I think it's the Fighting Irish, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I'm not really a sports person, so I'm sorry if I misquote that or miss it, whatever, you know what I mean. But it was a little tag from like a lanyard. When you buy, keychains for sports teams, you sometimes get those. It was like an older one. Like, this wasn't a brand new lanyard at all, kind of little trinket. And it was left on top of the paper. Can you guys guess what I mean by that? And why I mentioned the person's name? I don't know if you guys remember this, but in my yard, outside, there is a grave marker that has the name Ben and then that last name. Now I'm assuming that it's just a pet because this person was priorly somebody who had a German Shepherd. Part of my fence is fenced off to be a running little court for him. There's more to that, and I don't feel as though, since you could possibly look up by just their last name because it's not a very common one, I'm not going to tell you the profession, but there was a reason why they had that. So, personally, I've always thought it was just their dog, their German Shepherd. Because these were neighbors that told me about this. A gentleman stopped me while I was taking out my own German Shepherd. His name is Jojo. Yes, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. His real name is Jotaro Kujo. I was taking him outside and letting him run circles around my yard. I know that sometimes that's not smart, but I mean, he's on a leash where it's retractable, so I have control over him 24/7 of that. But I'm outside, I'm talking to this neighbor that lives behind me in the alleyway, and he tells me the previous owner or tenant or whoever, I don't know. I couldn't tell you if they own this place or not. I do now, so there's that. Told me his profession and told me why I have the fence there. And it made sense. And told me that they have a German Shepherd. And said, funny enough, your German Shepherd looks just like that one. Yeah, great. So I thought I would let you guys know my little bit of a, panic over the factor that I don't know if that's just a pet marker. Um, as crazy as this sounds, until well, this house is over 100 years old, guys. Okay, so what I'm gonna say is not unheard of. There's been many people who have done this with family members, who have done it with their own children. As bad as it sounds, if you own your own home and you have somebody very small pass away, until more recently, it wasn't illegal to bury them on your property. That's why you have some older homes that are mansions that have their own graveyards. It was actually a more common practice than people would like to acknowledge. And I, my boyfriend actually really struggled with the ideas of letting me research into the name that's on the plaque, um, due to the fact that if it is not a dog, we have to go about legal steps. So I'm assuming, and I'm going to assume until otherwise, it is a dog. Hope for me, guys, that it is just a dog's marker, please, because I don't want to go through the efforts of letting that plague me, that I've been living somewhere like that. I know that doesn't sound that bad to some people, but it's one thing to have a ghost, and then there's another to basically be living in your own cemetery, okay? Because there's more than one of those plaques. Just one only has writing on it. So for my own mental sake, guys, hope I'm right. But I wanted to let you guys know about that because, like, it bothered me for a little while. And, like, yeah, it was a story that was kind of stuck in my brain, but it wasn't in the front of my mind. And actually thinking about, you know, what the message really actually meant. I've been trying quite a bit to sit and listen with my white noise emulator on my phone and, you know, see what I can catch. And I've caught some creepy stuff. I don't know if any of you come from my TikTok or not, but I had a stream of questions that I was really impressed because there's sometimes where you can sit with that white noise emulator for like 30-40 minutes and not get a single thing popping up because it's got about, I think, 10,000 or 20,000 words that are it's in its, you know, library to go through as just common ones. But I asked it, I'm sorry, I'm getting goosebumps from this. I asked it who it was, and it told me Satan. Oh. Okay. Sorry, still freaked out about this. But I asked it after that what it was, wanted, and it said me. And then I asked why. It said afraid of. I normally don't get 2-word responses, and when I get 2-word responses, that's an answer. That's a definite answer. Because after I was like, what are you afraid of? You. Of course me, right? Of course me. Anyhow, I guess maybe I'm just going a little bit paranoid on some of this stuff. My roommates are starting to hear this more often. And I don't know. Lately, I guess the fact that it wants to talk to me is probably a good thing in the aspect that I want to catch it. I just hope that things stay calm and that nothing big happens. If it does, of course, I'll let you guys know. But I just wanted to let you in on some of the stuff I forgot to mention in my full, which by the way was extremely long anyways, explanation of what's going on in my house. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.